Welcome to GlideChat, where we give you the rundown of all things ServiceNow. Let's talk about the now, right now.
All right, welcome to another episode of GlideChat. My name is Mike Lombardo, sitting here with Damien Davis, the Senior Director of Product Management at ServiceNow. Damien, let's go.
Let's go, Michael.
Wow, all the way from overseas.
Overseas, yeah.
Overseas.
Across the pond.
Across the pond, as they say, over the water. Why do they call it a pond? It's a big
It's a big pond,
it's
right?
It's a big pond.
Now, I mean, as you know, many years ago, that same pond had a load of Brits come across with a load of tea.
Yes,
And,
yes. What happened to that tea?
Well, actually, I have a gift for you.
Wow.
And I timed it perfectly.
Oh, my God,
Here
dude.
we go, man. There you go.
Dude.
Look. Chocolate biscuits.
Oh, thank you so much. This is awesome.
So you know Fortnum & Mason?
Yes, I've heard of them.
They are
Yeah.
quintessentially English.
Wow.
They were founded in 1707.
Wow.
And they're famous for tea.
1707.
Famous for their tea and biscuits, but I figured as I'm in Boston, tea's probably not a good idea, right?
Yeah.
Being a
No,
Brit.
it's sad. We've moved on from all that. It's
Of
kind of
course. Hey,
sad.
we're all friends,
but
right?
no, maybe I'll throw it in the Boston Harbor just for fun. We'll see. No. Thank you for that, brother.
Oh, you bet.
So happy to have you here. We dodged crazy bullets trying to make the schedule work.
Oh, man.
We're both very busy. I've seen a couple of your documentaries. You're shooting a documentary.
Yeah,
That's insane.
I guess you could call it a documentary.
Yeah. I mean, so tell me, like, what is that? Like somebody who does these podcasts that like you guys work something out, or like how did it come about?
Yeah, well, so basically, I've got a really good friend called Harry.
Yeah.
And he has a production company. He's
Yeah.
a creative director. And we've been friends for a few years through the ServiceNow ecosystem. And he got to know me through some of my fundraising and the campaigns I've done for cancer charities, for mental health charities. And he said, Damien, I'd really like to sit down and tell your story. So we booked out a studio in London.
Wow.
We shot some footage and we've been gradually releasing it on LinkedIn.
That's so cool. And I like the separate parts because I've been wanting to, document the GlideFast journey, like since like the beginning. I was like, we should have a camera right now. So we've started finally, like the last couple of years, just, different people telling the story, capturing where we're at in the moment.
I mean, 9 years. 9 years.
It's been 9 years. Yeah, it's crazy. I was thinking about it too. It's like, so that it's been 9 years at GlideFast, but like the commitment and the heads down and my, just dedication to ServiceNow has been like way longer because I spent 2 years at Choreo, which they're not around anymore. But
and you were at Boston Medical Center before that, and that's where you started your ServiceNow journey.
Exactly. As a customer, didn't know anything. Like I had built websites and I'd played around with that, but I've never like actually sat down and I was not a coder, and so, but I had built a knowledge base for Boston Medical Center because the last hospital I was at had a knowledge base and Boston Medical Center didn't. I didn't know what a knowledge base really was, but I was like, we need this because we have all these documents all over the place. So I built a knowledge base. And then my boss, a year later said, hey, we're getting this thing ServiceNow. Nobody really wants to own it. Do you want to be the admin? I said, sure. He's like, you did the knowledge base. It has a knowledge base. I'm like, sign me up.
Yeah.
And man, once I got that admin role, I was just in. And that was like 2011.
Yeah, that's the same year I joined ServiceNow as an employee.
You know what? I caught that on your last podcast, or documentary series.
So we've both been in the ecosystem for about the same length of time.
That's wild. I was telling my wife about the torch, or it might have been my sister. I forget who I was telling, because I was saying how I'm doing the podcast with you today, and I was like, yeah, he's got like a documentary out, and they're like, what did he do that was like so crazy? I'm like, I don't really know, but it's like a series of like crazy, like he carried one of the things, like he carried the Olympic torch through his like hometown. And like, I'm like, that is just like, they're like, what? That's like a big deal.
It is a pretty big deal.
Jeez.
This was back in 2012 when the Olympics came to London.
Wow, I remember that.
And I was nominated for some charity work, for some cancer charity stuff that we did. And I carried that Olympic torch. And people remember every 4 years the Olympics comes around, does different cities. And it has this tradition. They light the Olympic flame in Athens on the Olympic, the historic ruins. Yeah. And then that flame travels all the way to the stadium.
That's wild.
And when it ran through London, they had this program where they chose 8,000 torchbearers to carry the torch.
Wow.
Some of them were famous people, David Beckham.
Yeah.
And then they had this little program for heroes in the community. And I was chosen for the fundraising stuff I'd done. So I'm riding in a bus along with like David Beckham, Sir Steve Redgrave. You know, these guys are like super, super famous. And I'm there going, I'm about to carry the Olympic torch. And for 5 minutes, I was the only person on a planet with 8 billion people holding that Olympic flame. Wow. That's pretty special,
Good
right?
for you. That's unbelievable. I mean, that's got to be a moment, like, just forever.
Forever.
Like that's what, like, you know, for me, that's what I've always chased, is like the moments. GlideFast people, friends, like I don't care. I just want to have fun. Like, and it's always been like that. And that's funny. Have you met Pip yet?
Of course I met Pip.
Yeah, Pip. Pip was the same way. Like, we've been friends since, I've known him since we were probably like 8, 9.
Oh, wow.
But we got really close, in high school and beyond. And, like when we were, 20s, 18, 19, 20, 21, like we would just always like, our friends would be like, not big movers, but they're like, so we had to be like, come on, we'll go to the club, we'll order the Uber or a taxi at the time. Like we were always just like kind of getting people going, and like we were always like kind of planning to make sure everyone else had fun and to have that moment. So I'm always chasing like experiences.
So hang on, let me just replay this. So Mike Lombardo, chasing experiences, having fun.
Yeah. Shocker. I know.
It's all about those moments that matter.
It is. And I mean, that's the best part. Like, people say, oh, money. It's not about money. I mean, money makes it a lot easier, especially when you got 10 people with you, that don't have, a ton of money. But no, like, times with my family, my friends, like
time's the commodity, right? You and I, look, we both have personal stories. You know, you're a cancer survivor. You're a fighter. Yeah. You know my story about losing my brother. Yeah. Time is a commodity that is priceless. No. And we've both been very lucky with our careers and, having a bit of money to do nice things. Yeah. But spending time with our loved ones, with our friends, people we care about, that's the most important.
That's the best, yeah. You can't lose sight of that, You can't lose sight of that. So, yeah, what did we just do? What just happened out there?
Oh, my God. Are we talking about the experience with the golf buggy?
I think we have to, because, I wanted to get the energy up.
Energy?
The energy was up a little bit.
Was it like 80 miles an hour?
I don't think we went 80, but it could go 80. I think we were going about 60.
So for the benefit of people watching the GlideChat, we just rode in a golf buggy that's been customized with a GlideFast wrap, and you took me for a spin around the parking lot, and we were doing
40 for the police security, maybe 25.
25, yeah. Okay.
But no, it's cool. GlideFast, the team got that for me. I don't know if it was Christmas or just a cancer thing. I don't know. So shout out to GlideFast. I
was just working, and I heard Joey in your office say, "We've got a surprise for Mike," and I was like, "What's going on? What have I arrived into here?" Right?
Yeah, we gotta like get some footage of that. That
was fun.
That was cool. But yeah, like that's what I noticed about you. Speaking of energy, is like you have such a passion. It's similar to just like network and just put yourself out there. I would say, you're probably one of the best personal brand influencers, whatever, in the ServiceNow space. Like I think you have one of the strongest personal brands out there. Chuck has got a great personal brand in the ServiceNow space. Yeah.
I love
Fedor. Like there's some really good personal branders out there, but like I noticed the consistency with you. And you have just like a great following that really care. People care about you.
People care. People engage, and it's such a strong community. Yeah. I mean, my energy comes from here. Yeah. But the messaging is all about, like, I lost my brother. Yeah. I decided I was going to live my life to the fullest. Yep. Enjoy crazy experiences. Go riding out in buggies with CEOs and stuff, right? But just have fun, right? Yeah. And I'm having fun every day at ServiceNow. The culture's amazing. Yeah. The company is great to work for. Yeah. Our partners are amazing. Yeah. It's been pretty successful.
I mean,
When I joined in 2011, I mean, Josh posted on LinkedIn the graph
Yeah.
of
I saw
ServiceNow's
that.
rise.
I saw that.
And I made a little meme.
Your face.
I
yeah.
made a little meme with my face.
Yeah, I saw
and
you
said,
change it. Yeah.
Here's where I joined. You're welcome. And it was obviously
That was
amazing. It was a
amazing.
bit of fun.
Talk to me about personal brand, because this is something I'm always trying to preach to the GlideFast team, right? Because I think some people get the misinterpretation or like misunderstanding that, I want to be at the forefront all the time. It's Mike's show and, GlideFast behind me. I want other people to step up. Like Kali's a great example of that. Like
Kelly Alexander.
Yeah, she's amazing.
one of my heroes.
She's
I
amazing.
love her.
I told her I want her to be like the face of GlideFast one day.
She's
You're
so
already
good at it.
halfway there. I mean, do you know the story about how we hired her?
I do not. Are you going to tell me?
Yeah, why don't I tell you real quick? But I do want to make sure I get back to the personal brand.
Of course.
But so I just see this woman on LinkedIn. I know she got no experience. No one's ever done a LinkedIn Live. I've never, me either. I still do almost to this day. The only time I've done it with her. She's got a great, I don't know if she's using, OBS or StreamYard. It's a professional setup. She doesn't know much about ServiceNow, but she's just comes out there like the ServiceNow stuff seems cool. Who wants to talk about it? And she just like, I want to learn. I want to help others. I want to learn. I want to network. And she just was so brave and courageous to put herself out there, not knowing anybody, not knowing the space, speaks so professional, makes you feel good, makes you feel comfortable. And I'm like, I got to have her.
That's a raw talent.
Oh, it's a raw. You can't teach it.
Yeah, no.
You can't teach it.
And we go back to personal branding.
Yeah.
I made a decision a couple of years ago to really invest in my personal brand.
Yeah.
I'd been with ServiceNow for like 10 years, which was a great run.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, what do I want to do next?
Yeah.
And someone said to me, they drew a chart and they said, when you look back, you want to talk about your health, your wealth, your career and your legacy. And I was like, right, what is my legacy? What do I leave behind? So I invested heavily in my personal brand, building a network, setting myself a goal, writing it down. And now I'm teaching it. I'm going out to like careers fairs. And yesterday actually hosted an Ask Me Anything session in the ServiceNow office here in Waltham.
Yeah. I got a bunch of messages, by the way, from people, just how great it was.
Oh,
And
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be my authentic self.
Yeah.
But building a network, build a culture of champions
network
around
starts
you.
with network. I always look at like a GlideFast, and this is how I actually even looked at the last company I worked at. Once I started learning about personal branding, shout out Adam Mason. He was the first person to say those words to me. The first time I heard him, I'm like, what is that? He's like, I'm like, the brand is the last company I worked at. Like, the brand is GlideFast. Like, it's not about me. It's about GlideFast. We're all pushing. He's like, no, your personal brand is part of that. And then I started realizing, oh, wait a minute. Aquario is a stage, which is a company I was working at. Aquario is the stage.
Yes.
GlideFast is the stage. And I'm the person on top of it. And I'm the person, and I'm the actor.
Yeah.
Right? Like the platform is ServiceNow.
Yep. Right?
And it's not like, yes, we're running around waving the ServiceNow flag, everything, right? Mayor of ServiceNow. That's I'm 100,000% committed to that.
That's one persona, right?
Yeah.
And it's an affectionate term.
Exactly.
And I'm going to come back to you on the term, Mayor, as well.
Go ahead.
But first, when you say about brand, the platform, ServiceNow, GlideFast, they're the stage.
Yeah.
But you're also like, what's your story? GlideFast is one element, and we all know the power of branding and marketing.
Yeah.
But you are almost like, you become the product.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the actor,
Yeah.
you're the product. But your personal brand is, you then have a platform that you can tell any story you want.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the great work you've done with Joe Andruzzi, right? With
Yeah.
the foundation there. I know it's really important to you as a cancer survivor and going through the treatment and stuff. And the work that he's done and what he's doing for cancer patients and their families is commendable. But you can now use your network, your profile to talk about GlideFast, but also to talk about that.
Yeah.
And it, like say, that platform then becomes extended.
100%. And it's like you need, and then when I say the stage and the platform, it's like, it's the same thing about the network. Like you need a flag in your hand. You can't just say,
Or a torch.
Yeah, or a torch. You can't just say, Damien's the best in the whole world.
Why not?
At what? At what though? You know what I mean? Like what is your thing? So like, or what is your megaphone? I know, right? This is a perfect example. We're on a GlideFast platform right now. We're on a GlideFast stage, right? They're going to the GlideFast YouTube channel or Spotify. Subscribe and follow. You know,
Get the graphics up. Like, subscribe.
Yeah, I know. But we're the actors, right? We're the I don't like the word actors. It sounds fake, but like we're the performers, right? We're
performers. Yes,
and it's our name attached to that, right? But if it was just me and you talking about the weather, I mean,
I think we'd still get quite a lot.
Yeah,
of
we probably could. Yeah, we probably could. Not your weather.
No.
Not your weather with all that rain out there.
Funny story. I was in London office, in the ServiceNow office, with a friend who works for another partner in the UK.
Yeah.
But he's like, Damien, your LinkedIn is crazy. I said, look, let's go out on the balcony and get a picture.
Yeah.
And it was raining.
Yeah.
So we had a picture with an umbrella.
I saw that.
And I was posing like Mary Poppins with this umbrella.
About a year ago.
It got like 100,000 impressions.
I saw that. It was like a year ago. I saw that.
You and I, we have similar energy levels, right? And it's not a competition. That's the great thing.
No.
It's like we almost feed off each other.
No.
But you've been affectionately known as the mayor of ServiceNow for at least the last decade. But everyone I ask, and I talk to Pip, I talk to Nick, I talk to, you know, Joey, and I'm like, where does the term the mayor come from? And actually, nobody can give me the answer. So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, yeah, I've given it my mother when I was a kid. So my mother would always say, like, she wanted me to be the mayor of our city. She's like, everyone likes you. You know how to do the right thing. You just got a good judgment call. You got a good smile. People gravitate towards you. Be the mayor. You know, and that was like, you know, I didn't come from a very like college educated family. We were lower middle class, single mom for the most part. I had a stepfather. I lost him to cancer when I was young. Sorry, yeah, it's crazy going through this. Literally about to have the same transplant that took his life, but it's much better now, much more improved. That was like 30 years ago. But anyways, yeah. So she'd always be like, you know, she had simple rules. My mother is like, pay your bills on time. Buy a house. And I'd be like, Mom, 10. Like, I can't buy a house.
Make one out of Lego.
Yeah.
Good cultural, solid values, right?
Yeah, exactly.
My wife, affectionately or non-affectionately, refers to me as the mayor of our street in our village.
Hilarious. See, yeah.
On our honeymoon, she said she didn't see me for the 2 weeks of our honeymoon. She goes, he's like the mayor. He's just out there with these people.
That's what it is.
Like,
so what is the definition of a mayor?
I think you personify it, and I think it's those energy levels engaging with people. That's what
I think. A mayor can walk into any building in his city or her city and shake hands and talk to anybody, right? And that's
100%. But you
and
and
I think about that, I'm
can
like,
do that with confidence.
Yeah,
like standing up,
like
sitting
when
down.
I walk into the ServiceNow office, it's like family, and it's like people I don't. Sometimes people I don't know, you know, and they're like, oh man, like, you know, it's cool. And I'm sure you get it too. It's like,
oh, it is. It's a part of the job that gives me a lot of satisfaction.
That's it.
I love the attention.
Well, that's of course, but that's why like giving back is so rewarding.
100%. And thank you for the opportunity to represent you at the Joe Foundation.
I know,
Man,
it sucks.
Like say, no, but paying it forwards, giving it back, super important.
Oh
right?
yeah. I mean, like, I'm addicted to it now. Like now I can't stop. Because I never had anything to give anybody. I never had much for myself. But now, like next week, that's why I was trying to align it with your schedule. Next week, we're going to Year Up, which is the program
where you started, where you were an intern, or where you literally graduated.
Yeah,
right?
I was an intern at like 19 years old. I dropped out of high school. I didn't make it out of high school. So Year Up was this tech program, 6 months school, Year Up, not Europe, where you're from. Year Up is 6 months school, 6 months training program. And it's for like inner city youth, a lot of diversity, you know, people that don't have opportunities, young, you know, 18 to 25 people. And
that's nearly 20 years ago, right? That was like 2008, 2009, roughly.
Yeah. When was it? 2007.
Yeah.
It was
nearly 20 years.
20 years. And it was like the fourth year of the program, or the third year. It was very early. Now they're crushing it. Gerald Chertavian is he's the founder and CEO. He's actually just stepped down as CEO, but he's like, I call him, you know, he's a real close friend. But, you know, next week we're giving 100 laptops, one laptop to every Boston graduate.
Oh, that's amazing, man.
One laptop. Dude.
But that gives them the head start that they might not have had, that you didn't have.
Oh, I know.
And
Do you know how cool it would have been to just get a laptop from somebody who graduated the program when I was there?
know, right?
Because you really don't know when you're that young. You don't know, like, even if you have this beautifully paved road of like, I'm going to do 4 years of college, then I'm going to get my master's, then I'm going to be a doctor, then I'm going to be a pediatrician. Then like, you don't even if you know your plan, you still like, I don't know what the fuck
throws you curveballs, right?
and then life, right? So when I go back, so we're donating 50 grand, we're giving 100 laptops. It started back in 2018. We gave like 10 laptops. That you could see the scale of success, right? I only had enough money for 10. And I was like, I just remember, and that was to one class. And I just remember being like, man, imagine giving like the whole Boston team. And I was just like, that's never going to be able to, I'll never be able to afford that. And so then I was like, a few weeks ago, I was like, all right, I got my big treatment coming up in July. Like, I want to do something for Europe before then. And I was like, let's get 30 laptops. And I go, hey, I hit up the site leader and I said, is there 30 people, like one class, maybe the IT class, because there's financial services and stuff? He's like, no, they're kind of all blended. I'm like, all right, how many people total? He's like, 94. I'm like, I'm going to get 94 laptops. And yes, I'm doing it for them. And yes, I'm doing it. But the feeling I'm going to have when I'm walking in, I'm going to cry. I guarantee you I'm going to cry.
It feels good though, right?
Hopefully not. But
it feels good.
It's an amazing feeling to see like the reactions, like of you helping somebody, you making a difference, and that's like kind of your responsibility, especially if you're successful.
Making a difference is what we're doing now, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to just bring it back to me, but
yeah, no, bring it back to you because we're talking about me too much.
Nah, come on. Losing my brother to suicide,
Yeah.
and me having the courage, vulnerability, whatever you want to say. Like, I'm comfortable talking about it because I want to spread the word. I've had people come up to me and saying, dude, your story touched me, really helped me. Some people have shared their stories of losing loved ones. And
it's a terrible thing.
And I even had one guy come up to me and said, I was in a really dark place. And
to help you get out of it.
It helped him get out of it. And it's like, that means something. It really means a lot.
The phrase, ironically, the guy Gerald that started Year Up sent me the best email. Bill McDermott sent me an awesome email too, the first time I got cancer. But Gerald sent me this email, and he wrote, there's a quote my mother used to give me, and it's this too shall pass. And man, I don't know what, it hit me exactly where I needed it to. Pause. And I got signs everywhere. I friggin', I had it posted everywhere. And now I send it to people when they're going through hard times. But that phrase, like, okay, this is not forever. This is temporary. I've been in situations where I was miserable, and I've got out of it. I've been in situations where I was super happy, and then I went down. So, like, you got to try to help people remember this is not going to be forever thing.
100%. What a great phrase.
It's like saved my life, seriously.
So with Year Up,
yeah,
and you said it's not Europe.
Yeah, Year Up.
But can we talk about Europe?
Yeah.
Obviously,
yeah.
I'm European.
Yes, please.
And GlideFast have just come to Europe. You did the great GlideChat
with
Adam.
Wow. I can't believe it. Shout out Adam.
How quickly are you guys growing?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Shout out Adam, shout out John, shout out that whole team out there. I gotta get more FaceTime with them, but like they are just an unbelievable, like like GlideFast is still a startup. We still have that mentality. We never had a rich uncle. We never had PE. Well, we had PE backing, but like that was when we were like good. We didn't need money. We didn't really need money from them. I mean, it was COVID. That's why we kind of brought them in. But like we always had to be scrappy. Like if we don't deliver this project on time and on budget, we can't make payroll. So when I met Adam, which I've met him a couple of times, he just had the same kind of scrappy mentality. He just wants to win.
Oh my God.
I mean, all you had to do is tell me about the ultra marathon.
In the desert.
I don't even want to talk about it.
40 degrees Celsius. What's that in Fahrenheit? It's like 100 degrees, right?
Come on.
And the guy's running ultra marathons in the sand.
Tell them what an ultra marathon is.
I don't even know. It's too far.
It's 2 marathons, 1 marathon one day, second marathon another day. And I don't know if there's another marathon, but there's the last day is 2 marathons
in 100-degree heat with a sandstorm.
Sahara Desert. So that's that shows me he's got a little bit of commitment and drive and energy,
So I caught up with him. We've been friends for a few years, and we actually took a road trip from San Diego to Vegas on the way to Knowledge last year.
Yeah.
And he
I
was
remember that. Yeah, you told me.
He said his legs were still sore. It was just like
That's unbelievable.
cramping up. And that's a cool road trip, though. By the way, I recommend anyone wants to drive from San Diego to Vegas.
Yeah, I heard
like,
it is, yeah.
So he was on the phone to his wife, and he said, you know, we've just been driving for 2 hours in a straight line and we haven't seen another car.
Oh my God.
As soon as I knew you were coming to Europe,
you called him.
No, I knew who your guy was.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Here's the thing. I've always been build things around people because square peg round hole. If you keep saying, oh, I want a Lamborghini, I want a Lamborghini, but you don't go out and do the things to get it, or, you know, I'd love to have expand to Brazil. Okay, who's going to run it? Who can you you know how much trust it takes to have someone in another freaking continent, you know, carry your
Different
flag?
time zone.
Look at, I mean, we have our reputation is everything, right? So, you know, to have someone come in as a leader, and we're very big on promoting from within. So I always like to truly see who people are before we get into leadership. But yeah, he reached out to me and it was like, he's like, I want to come to Boston. I was like, all right, come to Boston. And went to a Red Sox game, which we're going to go to tonight.
He texts me just an empty picture of Fenway. and he just said, clue. And I was like, I know where you are. And I was like, and then he sent me the picture of you and Joey and him at the game. And I was like, dude, I know what you're doing.
Yeah,
I was so pumped. I was so
excited. Ready. I mean, he made up his mind, and he's just doing amazing.
Oh, he's great.
He's doing amazing. And he's going to help. He's going to help GlideFast
expanding
overall.
So quickly.
Yeah.
Like hiring.
Yeah.
But hiring really smart people.
Yeah,
like,
that's the key.
They've just announced some technical consultants who are very well respected in the UK ecosystem. Like seriously, you're hiring the cream of the crop.
Well, and there's a whole line behind them. That's the cool thing. Is like once I made a post that I'm going to Europe, which I don't even think I really was. I was just like, let me test the market. Dude, my inbox got flooded. The GlideFast application. We were like, all right, this, because I'm always a people first. 100%. And when I mean people, I mean like delivery first. Got to have the right architects, got to have the right consultants, got to have the right project managers, got to have the right BPCs. Or, you know, you can sell all you want. If you can't deliver, you got nothing.
It's all about CSAT, right?
It's all about CSAT, and it's about relationships, and it's about giving your word.
But relationships is the absolute key thing. That goes back to what we were talking about
network.
Personal branding, about your network. But again, like in my role, you know, officially I'm partner agnostic, right? I work with many partners. The relationships that I have with people in those partnerships with our customers, it's the people that make it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, who wants to buy from someone you don't like? Who wants to work with someone you don't like? You know, so that's like the core value of GlideFast is like personality, and are you a good person? Are you a liar? Are you an excuse maker? Are you, or are you a worker?
And it goes back to you said about experiences. Yeah. I had a partner the other day took me up in a plane over my village, and we landed, and I'm like, right. You want to talk about where he goes, no, we'll do that next time. It's all about relationships.
Of course. Smart.
The next week, all of a sudden there's a case study and a video for this, like, you know, joint proposition with, you know, the screen meet and the virtual agent. And I'm like, oh, you planted the seed. Then you just took me up flying, have fun. And his motto, a guy called Andy Hardy, he's a cool guy. He says, have fun, make money in that order.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. I've always just been like, if you do the right things, good things will come. You know, if you do good work.
Karma,
yeah. And it's like, it's, you know, I think karma is not like a spiritual thing. I'm a big, you know, Christian, but like, I don't go to church every week. I should, but
you probably need to ask for some forgiveness.
I got a chain. I got a cross on my neck.
I'm not a man of any religion or strong faith.
Yeah, but spiritual.
But obviously, I believe in
something.
I believe in just being a good egg. Yeah. Right? Being a good person.
Don't be a jerk. No, 100%. So God and stuff is one thing. But like karma is not, I don't think it's like, people think it's like this spiritual thing. And like somebody's like, all right, you did one good deed. We're going to get you one. No, here's how it works. If you're putting out good energy, right? If every day I walk in and out of this office and I hold a door for people, and maybe there's a CEO of, or an IT director of Walmart. I don't know. I always use them as an example. Walmart, right? And she's like, you know, for the last 2 months, you've held this door for me. Every time I see you, you held the door for me. I know you do service now. Why don't we talk? That's karma. And it's not like a magical thing. It's just like, hey, people want to be nice to people who are nice to them.
100%.
Simple. If I spit in your face every time I see you, or I talk dirt about you, you're probably not going to want to help me, right? But if I'm on your team, if I'm helping you, if we're helping each other, I mean, yeah,
but
karma's going to be good.
Obviously, karma, and you have a reputation for being a ServiceNow champion. Don't get nervous.
Okay.
For being a ServiceNow champion and for generally being a good person in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
I know that I don't want to upset you. But I know you were upset about missing out on knowledge.
Yeah.
But you got a shout out from my buddy Nick.
Oh, that was amazing. Nick's unbelievable.
Oh my God, right? How did that feel?
Oh God. Well, my whole family cried.
I bet you did as well.
I definitely cried. Well, first of all, let's back up. So, yeah, I was pissed I couldn't go to knowledge. Where was I? Okay, so literally, here's the thing. I had flights booked. And I had a private jet also waiting. I didn't have it booked, but they were calling me every day, like, you gonna book it? You gonna book it? Because I was thinking, like, all right, if I have my immune system's low, I'll just jet out there, maybe grab two of my guys, we'll go, right? So I was supposed to get my treatment like the week before, timing it out. I'm like, oh, I can make this work. And obviously my wife, and in the back of my head, I'm like, I know I shouldn't go. All of a sudden, like, something happened. I had like a reaction or something. They're like, all right, we're going to change the schedule. Or they just might have just changed my treatment. And they're like, now it went from 1 day every 3 weeks or 3 days every 3 weeks to 3 days. And we got to do it next week. And it was literally the same days as knowledge. This is like God stuff. So I'm like, all right, this is God. Just tell me, sit down, shut up. You're not going anywhere.
You have to listen to your body as well, right?
Well, yeah, the doctor's like, no, you're getting chemo.
You're
these
grounded,
days.
literally grounded.
She was like on board with me going. Like, she was like, as long as I'm like, but you don't, like, my wife's like, you don't understand. People are going to be attacking. Thousands of people are going to be like, Lombardo, blah, blah, blah. Because everybody kind of knew I wasn't going. So I had to stay in the hospital for those 3 days, right? So it sucked. So I'm in the hospital. All of a sudden, I see the billboard thing. I'm like, oh my God. So we do the billboard thing.
Oh,
did you
that,
see the last scene?
Yeah.
So
that was so funny.
That was
so I internally at ServiceNow.
Yeah.
I don't know how public.
No, just go.
Wait, no.
Go.
So we have a competitive intelligence team within our marketing. Who talked about that billboard?
Yeah,
but then
mine.
No. Then I posted
the
yours, and they were like, "This is genius."
I know, isn't that great, dude? I don't want to like some really high.
It happens
people.
every year, though. There was
the BMC
with the coffee cards and stuff.
Yeah,
as well.
But remember the BMC the bikes? What do they call them? Rigmaroles?
Yeah,
no.
and I've seen like the scooters and stuff.
Yeah. In San Francisco, that was my first knowledge.
2014.
Yeah, 2014 knowledge. BMC software, not BMC Boston Medical Center where I work. BMC software, they did the rickshaws. That's what they called.
Rickshaws.
And they were like, it was cheesy. But because I was home, because I was like bored and like, oh, I want to be there, I was ready. And because our team, shout out Riley, shout out Lauren, our marketing team, they were there like Friday. They were there before anybody. And they saw the billboards. I'm like, we got to act. I'm up. It's like Friday night, midnight. I'm on Slack. But the general channel in Slack, 700 people. I'm like, guys, we need a funny thing for this. Like, we need a funny thing. And I'll reveal it now. That was all Photoshop. Everybody thinks that was a real billboard. Did you know?
I'm so disappointed.
Shut up.
I'm disappointed.
You thought it was a real billboard?
I did.
Stop. How good are we at UI? Shut out the Strato team. That was not a billboard. That would have cost like 50 grand or whatever. But the exposure you got on LinkedIn dude,
was
it got
worth
2,500 likes.
Oh my God.
A million, it's still going making the rounds, right? So that cost us nothing, right? Then all of a sudden my team everyone started taking pictures of them and then replacing those with the Strato team, the UI UX team started just churning them out. So we were like posting them everywhere. Dude, even I don't want to like blow up a spot, but somebody super, 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 super high up was like, I got to ask, was that Photoshop? And I'm like, I'll only tell you it was. And he's like, dude, that was like a brand sticking up for us. And it was like, he was like, thank you. I was like, oh. So we start off with that. There was something else like on LinkedIn that was pretty cool. Oh, I did the t-shirt giveaway for the people who couldn't go. But back to like the Nick thing. So I just get out of the hospital, right? I was in there for 2 days or 3 days. I just get out. My phone rings. I answer. It's Bill McDermott. FaceTime. I'm like, Bill, I loved your keynote. It was awesome. He's like, Mike, I'm with you. He was just about to get on with CNBC or whatever. He did that live thing there. That was emotional, right? And then just completely out of nowhere, somebody's just like, hey, make sure you watch Nick's live stream. I was like, all right. So I think I was actually back in the hospital for this. And this is like, I had a bad reaction. So like, wasn't a good time. My whole family's there. But I'm live streaming it.
And you see Idris Elba.
And
Pitbull.
And I'm like.
And then there's a third spot.
I'm like, what? It's like, calls me out like.
In front of 20,000 people. Plus everyone that was watching it live stream.
Customers, ServiceNow people. And he's like,
that was from the heart.
And that was from the heart. And he said it so perfectly. He didn't say like, Mike's dying of cancer. He can't be. My sister said that the best too. She's like, he's just so intelligent.
He said you had a speed bump on your long-term recovery, which was the perfect way, sensitive way to say it.
And he's just like, Mike's passion. And it's like, for so long, I've been, I always sit here and I don't say like poor me, but it's like, I've given my whole life to this thing, and so many other people at GlideFast have as well. And yeah, we've been rewarded, whatever, but like that means more to me almost. Yeah, this means more to me almost. That means more to me almost than like I need the money for my family and everything. But like it's really close. I'll tell you what. We didn't celebrate after we sold the company for $350 million. We went right to work the next day. There was no party. There was no club that night. You got to ask some of the guys in the office. Ask them the biggest night out we ever had was when we won that first Partner of the Year, 2022.
You have to take time to celebrate those wins.
Man,
I was with you
recognition.
last year at the ARIA.
Yeah.
With our friends from Own Company, who, by the way, they're cool.
Oh, they're
Jess
amazing.
and Ryan.
They're amazing.
Shout out to them.
They're true friends.
But like that party, you were front and center, and they're like, Damien, come on stage with Mike, and I'm like, okay, I'll post for the photo. That photo was on my LinkedIn. That was like my most liked picture of last year.
Wow, that was wild. Yeah, made my whole family excited. So it definitely softened the blow. But like, just what a guy! You didn't have to do that.
Nick's great.
Like,
I was with him in Sweden last week in Stockholm.
Oh yeah,
and he introduces me to a load of folks and says, "Hey, Damien, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And I love Nick. He's authentic. He's genuine.
He's an amazing presenter too. I can't believe how good he is up there.
He is a great speaker.
Like, forget about presenter. Like that's keynote stuff.
So internally at ServiceNow, we have this thing, Saturday Night Live, SNL, right?
Yeah.
We have ServiceNow Live. It's our internal thing, and he hosts it.
Yeah.
I actually had a guest spot on one of them.
Oh, that's sick.
And I did this one spot, and I was in my garden office in the UK, and it's like 40 degrees Celsius. It's really super hot.
Yeah.
So I've got the door.
I don't know if that's hot or cold until you said it's really hot. Okay.
It's probably like 100 degrees, right? But so I'm there in a shirt, a tie, and a jacket.
Yeah.
But I'm wearing shorts.
Yeah.
And flip-flops.
Oh, stop it.
So I'm on camera from the waist up.
Smart.
But I made the mistake of texting Nick a full body shot.
Oh.
And he showed it to the entire
that's
company.
amazing.
To the entire company,
that's amazing.
man.
I love him for that. Wow. Yeah, what a guy. I mean, he's just a down-to-earth guy. But Bill is too. Like, how does Bill I mean, I know he's got a great team behind him. But, the fact that he finds time to, I've been on calls with him. He's done like special, motivational videos for GlideFast that I will never share publicly, because I know every other partner is going to be asking him for it.
He's very special. I reached out to him shortly after Russia invaded Ukraine.
Yeah.
I reached out to him and said, there's a ton of your ServiceNow family in Europe who are really worried right now and could just use some calming words.
Yeah.
He messaged me from his iPhone.
Yeah.
Just said, Thank you for bringing this to my attention.
Yeah.
Within 12 hours, there was a corporate post, a video with Bill, with Nick, just putting the reassurance out to everyone, offering assistance to all of the Ukrainian employees and everyone in Europe, in Poland, and all of the neighboring countries. And he just reacted straight away. And he's just so accessible as a leader and approachable. I just think he's amazing.
Yeah. He's committed to that 20 billion.
I've worked under 4 CEOs, right? You and I joined the ecosystem around the same time. Like when I joined, Fred Luddy was just handing over to Frank Slootman. And he's
an animal.
Flawless execution, right? I'll tell you a funny story about Frank, actually. But then he handed over to John Donahoe, who came from eBay, kind of consumerized ServiceNow. And then, of course, you've had Bill, and it's just been like the rocket ship. I wanted to ask you, though, LFG. The mantra of LFG. Come on, talk to me about LFG.
Yes. Well, what does it stand for?
Let's go.
All right, we don't have to edit that one. LFG. You know, obviously, I think Tom Brady we're big, Patriots fans, and that was always his thing, LFG. But Josh Brostoff, same chart guy, he just kept repeating it. We had this little crappy office, crappier than this one. We had a little crappy office in Woburn, and about 4 rooms, and just like every time we get off a call, close a deal, or cake celebration, go live, successful project, it just started like LFG. Started catching on, and I think I said something in my keynote about a quote that I told you about my stepfather. He passed away when I was 14. And he was a teacher. He was a teacher for 25 years. So he was actually very educated, obviously, and he was like the wisdom guy in my life growing up. He had this quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson: "Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm." Now, I didn't know what that meant for like 20 years. Even when I say it now, it's a lot of work. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm, right? And one day I was like, this is LFG. This is exactly what we're talking about. Like, guys, we're going to transform how you operate. Your employees, your customers, they are going to love your support. They don't even care it's ServiceNow. They don't care what table you use, what the record is. That just really became one of our core values. LFG, which is like a motivator. Have you heard of Ubuntu?
Yeah.
Ubuntu is like my favorite. Do you know how that came about?
Go on.
So actually, another one of my best friends, Anthony D'Souza, he's on path to architect now. He should be an architect already. He's been doing this for 8 years. But he was watching a documentary on the Celtics from 2008 when they won the championship. And they went from the worst team in the league the year before to the best, obviously, winning the championship, beating the Lakers. And one thing that they accredited to was this term they embraced called Ubuntu. And what it means is putting the person or your teammate next to you, whoever's next to you, ahead of yourself.
100%.
So if you have a deadline or, you see somebody needs help, stop what you're doing, go help them, then get back to it, right? Like, and if the theory is, and this is what happened with the Celtics, if everybody's doing that, when you, the person who's putting everyone else ahead of you, when you need a handout or help,
you get it back tenfold.
You get a swarm of people.
100%. Yeah. I've been reading a lot of leadership books. Dr. Liz Wiseman, Multipliers. It's all about multiplying people around you. Yeah. There's another book I'm reading, Zappers. It's about zappers and sappers. Now, we spoke at the beginning about energy. You and I think the reason we get on so well is those energy levels. And if you zap people with positive energy, you get positive energy back. But you must meet people in business who are sappers. They just take negative energy away. And those are people that we don't want to invest in.
You can't do it. It hurts, like, because I know some people have good intentions and, I hate to part ways, but the way you have to justify it is like they are putting everybody else at risk, right? They're putting everything else in jeopardy and they can't be part of the team. This is
you said those 10 people like the Celtics now. Bill McDermott, your good friend, right?
Yeah.
He said, no one of us is as smart as all of us.
Exactly. 100%. I love that. And it's like, it's so true. And it's like,
you can write that down.
Yeah, I know. And I'm the first person to agree. Like, I'm in and out with cancer.
That's your legacy, right? The legacy is GlideFast Consulting will continue without Mike Lombardo.
Yeah. No,
right?
that's not my legacy. And then never, no, it won't. No, I'm not going anywhere. For me, like, why would I turn my back on this? It's so beautiful. It was so miserable and hard and challenging and unknown and scary. And, you know, it's not that I don't work as hard, but it was the pressure of I had to, right? I couldn't say no. So now that it's like we're winning, now that you're the 2024 Celtics, about to 2 games away from winning the championship, which by the time this airs will be the champions, why leave? Like, why retire? Like, imagine Jason Tatum just comes out, which you probably don't even know who he is.
0. He wears 0.
Number 0.
See, I do know who he is,
Imagine if he gets his 1 trophy and says, "Oh, I'm good. I got a trophy. I got a couple million bucks. I'm good. I'm gonna retire." Why? Like, no. Ride it to the end. Ride it till the wheels fall off. You know, like that's which I don't see that ever happening.
If you still have your energy, still having fun, and
that's the thing.
And helping people, let's keep going.
Like I've always been pretty good at, and I learned my lesson on my first job. I hated it. I quit. I didn't have another job lined up. Big mistake. So I said, all right, I'm going to quit next time I hate my job, but I'm going to have something else lined up because, you know, I want to buy sodas at the store, whatever it was. It was 4:30. You know, my first job was 12. But, you know, you got to have that other situation ready. That's what every job I left because I wasn't having fun anymore. So what's next for you? We'll wrap it up.
Next for me?
Yeah.
Well, it depends when this airs, right?
Yeah.
But I've actually recently announced that I'm leaving ServiceNow's ITSM business unit.
Ooh.
But I'm all about customers and partners. So you can expect to see me rock up within the ServiceNow ecosystem,
Smart.
forefront and center with our customers and our partners.
That's smart.
Making
That's
an
smart.
impact.
It's hard. It's hard to manage all these partners. It's hard to build a program. ServiceNow is so unique, right? Deep and wide. Has there ever been any technology this deep and wide? Both
Honestly,
wide and deep? No.
You remember back to when you were at BMC, right?
It was just ITSM.
Like literally just ITSM.
Incident, problem, change.
Right? And then
remember
and then ITOM came in. And it's like, ooh.
I know.
In fact, when you started GlideFast,
2015, yeah.
Was it like the Helsinki release?
I mean, I got exposed to ServiceNow. We just upgraded from Aspen to Berlin when we first got it. I don't even freaking know. I should know. But I think because I was implementing, like I worked at Costco, Visa, like I was implementing as an architect the early days of GlideFast in, Geneva?
Yeah.
Probably Geneva.
Wow. And now we're not far from Z.
I know, it's so crazy.
What do we do? Where do we go back to?
Do you think it's too much?
What, the releases? Or?
Yeah, like the innovation. Like, is it almost too much innovation? Is the world like able to keep up?
The trouble is, if we don't, I think someone else will.
True, I know.
But the important thing for ServiceNow and for GlideFast and for our customers is about getting value out of their investment.
100%.
And we can help them. And that's why it's a partnership.
Everybody always says like, oh, they're not going to need partners anymore. It's going to be, I'm like, dude, it's okay, low code, yeah, there's some low code there, sure. But you have to know how, you have to be an architect. You have to architect. You don't put a 14-year-old on their first ride in a Ferrari. You don't. Right? You get the car with the 2 steering wheels, the 2 sets of brakes, and we go into it together, right?
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, I mean, like, you just can't. And then there's the process side, and then there's just so much,
governance, best practice.
Governance, roadmap, what's next, advise. So that never worried me. It's just like constantly just trying to drive the value of why you need AI, right? And I know ServiceNow, that's like big Bill's like humongous bet. And
we're an AI platform now, right?
It's an AI platform. So I just hope other customers get on board with it.
I think they will. Look at NVIDIA.
I know.
Right?
Oh, I know.
Oh my God.
It's like it's the same thing about being competitive. You have to, as an organization, you have to have it or you're going to fall behind. It's innovate or die, right? This is the next version of it. I just think the price tag is what's scaring customers and like we need to do, and that's why we've built a Gen AI readiness assessment. where we're actually, it's a kind of a bit of a Trojan horse where we're showing them what they need to do to get ready for AI, because there is some prep on the instance that needs to happen. And then we're showing them the value. You know what I mean? We're like, look at all this stuff I can do. And we're not selling them it, right? We're not selling them AI. We're just showing them. And that's why GlideFast has always been successful, because we're solutioning, not selling.
100%.
You know? All right, we always love to leave our audience with one piece of advice from our guest. You know, it may be somebody who's aspiring to grow in their ServiceNow career. I know you just talked to a bunch of digital reps. What's one piece of advice you have for the world of the ServiceNow community?
Wherever you are in your ServiceNow journey, it is about the people.
Yeah.
You know, ServiceNow is a technology platform. We're in a technology business,
Yep.
but it's about people. People buy from people, they sell to people,
Yep.
they trust people. It doesn't matter if you're an account executive, if you're in customer success, if you're in engineering, just build a strong network around you. Because it goes back to what you said about, like, if you're all pulling in the same direction, the one time you need help, it comes to you tenfold, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So build that network, work on your personal brand, be a good egg, pay it forwards. It will come back to you.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Do you have a topic in mind that you'd like to discuss? Reach out to us at glidefast.com and subscribe to our podcast for new episodes. Thanks for listening.